And our guest talking about summer jobs for kids, taking it to the next level. Dr. Tracy Wilen, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hey, Tracy, before Ed asks the first question, I got to ask you, having the name Tracy, how tough is that to grow up with such a masculine name? You know, is that tough?
That's a girl's name.
Did you ever think about changing your name?
Actually, the name is good. Whether it's male or female, it's a great name. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, boy.
How do you spell it, Tracy?
It's with an EY.
Oh, that's...
See, Tracy, this Tracy spells it with an I with a heart over top. So, Dr. Wilen, you have worked, I mean, you have went to Stanford, you've worked for got some pretty impressive credentials here, Apple, HP, Cisco, so many more, and we're talking about summer jobs for kids, and I think you're on hold when Tracy and I were talking about what we did when we were kids and what my kids are doing now, and going out and mowing grass, and the whole thing that we all grew up with. Now, we're taking this to the next level. What do you got here?
Well, you know, I enjoyed listening to your conversation about kids because I think kids are still doing exactly those things, whether it's seasonal jobs or working as camp counselors on golf courses in retail or lifeguards. But they're also thinking a little more about their future. And I encourage kids to look at internships, volunteering at places where you think you might want to work, or even looking into your own entrepreneurial. You know, a lot of kids are very inspired by Shark Tank and seeing younger people starting up their own businesses, and those are very practical approaches today that maybe didn't exist when we were growing up, and our options was you know either retail, hospitality, or babysitting, or mowing lawns. But there is a new level, you know, the internet and apps, and we can get everything on demand today, and so we have a new channel of jobs, which is through the crowds. You can tap into crowds.
What is that? Sorry, explain that, because I'm a little clueless with the whole crowd thing. What does that mean?
Sure. So, you know, basically today, because of the internet, we can reach so many more people. And we can go to the crowds or people for a number of things. People go out and they do crowdfunding to get funding for projects. People go out to just think of Uber. I'm sure Uber is in Lyft, to get drivers, to drive on demand for money. Apple Computer goes out to the crowds to get, you know, development ideas from engineers. They don't have to work at the firm. So this whole idea that we can tap into people using apps or the internet is this new landscape that younger people are very familiar with, and they may have not thought about some jobs that they could tap into over the summer using apps.
But we're talking about older people. I mean, it sounds like we're talking about college students. Right. What age do you think that a kid, because me and my partner, we go back and forth on this. I think it's important that kids just be kids and play sports. My partner thinks they should get a job at 5 years old.
Absolutely.
When do you think that a kid should get their first job? Just curious.
Well, I think there's a lot of legalities, right? I mean, obviously they can't take on a driving job unless they have, you know, a driver's license. They can't, you know, I remember wanting to babysit, and the cutoff was you had to be 13 or older or 14 or older. So I think there's certain aspects of, you know, can you work legally, and where can you work? And so most people just do neighborhood types of activities until they can legally work somewhere. And I think that can range. You know, I think 18 used to be the age where I lived in New York, that you could actually go and get a real job in like a restaurant or in a retail establishment. So I don't know if it varies state by state.
But Tracy, not even, I mean, like we're in here in Ohio, and it's been this way since I was a kid. 16, you could get a job at a restaurant. I mean, you'd be bussing tables or working a register or something, but you could certainly get a job.
So my feeling is regardless of the age, you want to teach young people responsibility and how to manage money. Because many people today do not have enough money to retire. And so whether it's giving kids an allowance for chores and understanding that, you know, work means money, and this is something that you can use, and it's a currency that you can use to buy comic books, to candy and gum, to, you know, different kinds of technology. So I advocate teaching responsibility as soon as kids can really understand it.
Yeah. Can I call you Tracer? Because my best friend Marty Brenneman, he calls me the Tracer. Can I call you?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of just a little pet name that he has for me. You talked about internship. That's kind of something new, right? I mean, going back 10 years ago, no one was doing the whole internship. But I mean, if you want to get in that area, you might not even be paid, but you're getting valuable experience. Yes?
Yeah, and a lot of colleges actually will give you college credit or high school credit for
really?
internships. So I think that's an opportunity for kids to start thinking about places that they might want to work after high school or after college, and they can get an internship, and maybe they don't get paid, but they can get some sort of credits through the school system. And it varies, again, by high school or college, what they'll offer and how it works.
Now, is that becoming more popular? Because, as Tracy and I know, they have contracted our intern. God, we seriously, there was a nice intern program going on here, and it contracted big time. I don't know what the legalities are or what that involved, but man, we used to have interns crawling all over this place, and now we have none.
Nice ones, too.
Yeah, so there was a lot of legal suits, and that was about like 2.5 years ago, where companies were pretty much tapping into just using free labor as if the job, like they exchanged a real job for an internship, and an internship should be a learning job. Yeah. It's giving someone the opportunity to learn what you do. If you're, pushing off a full-time job on an intern and not paying them, then you're crossing a fine line there.
Tracy, you remember your first job?
I do. It was babysitting.
I mean, every girl that's babysitting, isn't it? Well, at what age?
13, and then we did have allowances growing up, and we had to do a lot of activities. So it was like from raking leaves to dishes to garbage. And I do remember my older brother paying me to do his job.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, what's happened to that losers doing that stuff? What's up with your brother?
Well, I think he felt that his time was more valuable, and so I think as a younger sister, he paid me half of what he got to do his work. So he kept half and gave me half.
You might know his name, Bill Gates, is that fellow.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I think it was good for us because at the same time, my parents sat down and had us open up bank accounts.
Yes.
And understand interest.
Saving. Right.
And what that means and how money grows. And when you have a choice of, buying a dress or a computer game versus putting it in the bank, they wanted you to understand, money in and money out and how money grows.
Tracer, I always throw this number out. 70% of the people in this country can't come up with $1,000 outside their IRA account. That's sad.
It's pitiful, and it's very sad at how many people just can't even afford to retire. And so you see that playing out in society today. People are trying to stay employed, through their 70s, 80s, and 90s just because they don't have any financial options. So I think that's why I'm very pro-work and really getting a grasp on it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Ed, I have one more question.
Doctor, and we got to go.
Ed, can I ask
as
one
we
more
say in the
question?
business, we're up against it.
Can I ask one more question?
Tracy Wilen.
One more question?
Yeah.
Speaker and career expert.
Tracer, first of all, really enjoyed your input. I learned a lot this afternoon. I think when you sit there and really break it down as far as a job, and whether you get a job at 5 years old, or 15 years old, or you're an intern, I think when it comes down to working, I think you would agree with me. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I think you can give kids lots of options and just impress upon them what it is that they do could have an impact on what they do later in life.
Exactly.
It will be what it will be.
It will. And
what does that mean?
With that, Dr. Tracy, we'll let you go.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
See you, Tracy.
Dr. Tracy Wilen is with us.